Right, next I want to add some color into the craters, and what I wanted was a different random gray value for each sphere, right? So we need access to here, the spheres, after they've had noise added to them, and up here. So, you know, we're gonna have to process all this before we get to this point. So I'm gonna temporarily, as we're building the system, change this so that it runs a bit faster. So I'm going to come here, get my spheres, and let me drop a null. Big craters. And then an object merge. And then you can just click and drag that in there. The only reason I'm doing this is just so that I don't have these lines crisscrossing over, because I need them kind of down here. I just don't want long lines coming down, so that doesn't change the information in any way, right? It's just to be tidy. And here, small craters. Okay, let's wait for that to process through. Not too long now. Okay, and then again, just add another one into the object, and now we've got all the craters together. So I need a way of separating between each object. So one way you can do that in the viewport anyway is when you make a selection, press 9, go to 3D connectivity, and then we've got each object separate. But you know, that doesn't help me here in the node tree. I can make selections, but I don't want to do that. So we use a connectivity SOP, and this will generate an attribute called class on the points, and it's an integer, and it's a different number for each object. So that's great. That's a good start. Now if we take an attribute randomize, there we go. And I want to convert these into something that can be used to make different values of gray. So I'm going to call this gray. I'm just making this up. You can call it whatever you want. Doesn't matter. And I want values from, let's say, 0.3. So I don't want absolute black, and I don't want, we need to set this to 1 dimension as well, that's important, and to 0.8. All right, so let's visualize that. It'll be something similar to what we've got. However, on each point will be different. So what we have to do is use that class attribute as a seed for this random attribute. So whenever the seed, if the seed is the same for all of these points, then the random value that it produces will be the same. Okay, so this is just a visualizer. We're not making blue and red colors. We're just visualizing this is treating it like a 0 to 1 range. So to make grays, here we generate an attribute wrangle for typing some code. We're creating a vector, which is color diffuse, which is Houdini's way of dealing with color. And then we're going to set that to my gray attribute, which is gray, which is a turn off the visualizer, and we should see something. Oh, we spelled it differently. There we go. So what's happening here is this gray is a single, well, it's just a float, so it's only one value. If we look at it here, gray is just the one value between 0.3 and 0.8, right? And then here I'm setting a vector color diffuse, which is 3 values, and what it's doing is Houdini knows if you're not setting a vector to another vector, then it's going to just take this value and repeat it for all of them. Okay, and that gives you grayscale colors. So we've got different types of gray. So that's great, but you know that we've kind of got overlap going on, so we need to find a get our old friend, the VDB from polygons, generate some VDBs from these, and let's take our control, copy that, no, oops, copy that, come here, right click, paste relative references, and there they are, our beautiful spheres, and then convert that back into polygons. That kind of tidies it up. It doesn't look great right now, but you know, once we lower the resolution, it'll look much better. And we've lost the color, so attribute transfer that back across like that. So that's already there, that's done. And I want to blur it a bit, you know, even at this low resolution, you can see we're going to get some funny artifacts. So attribute blur, which will blur the position by default, and we don't want to do that. We want to blur the color. And we'll do that a few times. There we go. And in the next video, we'll go ahead and bring that into our finished geometry, and it will look really cool.